Welcome to the Queer God Squad. It's Monday, April 13th, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2026, we are celebrating the 41st anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 11,000 stories and 11 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Faith leaders question harsh U.S. sentencing culture, saying justice must heal. In a religion news service commentary, Karen Clifton of the Catholic Mobilizing Network argues that the throw away the key mentality prevalent in the American criminal justice system. Drawing on Catholic social teaching and the ministry of Jesus, Clifton asserts that no person is beyond redemption and that the death penalty or life without parole contradicts the fundamental Christian belief in the sanctity of life. The article emphasizes that true justice should focus on restoration and healing rather than mere retribution. Clifton calls on Christians to advocate for policies that prioritize rehabilitation and address the root causes of crime, such as poverty and mental illness. By rejecting a culture of disposal, the author suggests that society can move toward a more compassionate system that honors human dignity and offers the possibility of transformation for all. As LGBTQ plus people, we know what it feels like to be denied grace, justice, or mercy. Surely we bring perspective and empathy to the discussion. Yeah, how about that? A little bit of empathy, a little bit of understanding. I understand also that there are people out there who have been harmed by someone who hurt them or their family member. And that's the thing that I'm always trying to wrestle with. My father was murdered, and I had to find a way to get around that. I remember there was a conversation, I think it was with Mike Dukakis when he ran for president, and someone asked him, what would you do if something happened to your wife, if someone hurt your wife? And he really couldn't answer it.
Yeah.
He really did not have an answer for that. And the answer is, yeah, I may have wanted to do something terrible to another person, but that is not society's role.
That's why you have laws, to keep me from seeking vengeance.
That's why you have laws and rules, so that I am not the person making that decision. It is a societal decision, and if that society is as cruel as the murderer, then what hope do we have?
Yeah.
I am vehemently opposed to capital punishment, but also we need prison reform. It's just not enough to not kill somebody. First of all, not a person should have served a single day for weed. You know? And second of all, your freedom shouldn't depend on how much money you have. You know, I got the public defender who was drunk and fell asleep. That happened in Texas in a capital case. Because I don't have the money to hire some superstar attorney or a team of attorneys, and so your money shouldn't be what keeps you, or because I'm a celebrity and I get community service and someone else gets jail time. It's just unfair. It's still in favor of white privilege, money, esteem, and geared toward against minorities, lower classes. And in fact, it has been called now for a couple of decades. They've been calling the prison system the new Jim Crow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that is where your rights are infringed upon, where you are othered, where things are harder for you than other people in similar situation. And so So that is what it is, and it needs to be fixed, and hopefully we will do. What is disturbing, though, is that the Christians are like, oh yeah, let them get what they deserve. Well, okay, we don't have to go all the way to murder, because we can say, okay, if you murder, that's 25 years to life, just right off. But there are mitigating experiences. I mean, you could be accused of murder and it wasn't really murder. You know what I mean? Like somebody died, but that doesn't make it murder. And so it really case by case. You might find that this person does not deserve the exact same punishment as that person, even though the results look a lot the same. And also, these should be reforming. Like some people should be able to be reformed. Some people are irredeemable. Yeah. Some people, they're broken.
And we have to acknowledge that.
And we should never be exposed to them. They need to be kept out of our way. Although maybe they should be locked in a hospital rather than a prison sometimes if they're that broken, but whatever. But you did drugs.
Yeah.
You had three, you got drunk driving or whatever. I mean, yeah, there are things, and you need to be held accountable. But in the justice of it all, there has to be restoration, there has to be redemption, there has to be grace. That's the thing about Christians. Like, we are supposed to be the grace people. Also accountability, certainly. To be as wise as serpents and as gentle as doves. And so, yeah, I'm not saying don't send people to prison if they've done wrong, but I'm saying that these people shouldn't get worse because they didn't have enough money or because the system was stacked against them. And no matter who's there for what reason, if they do what they're meant to do, if they work the steps, they got their GED, they did their job, they didn't cause trouble, they went to therapy, okay, isn't there a way I was bad? Isn't there a way I can become better? Because if not, then why would anyone try to get out of that system? I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Let me just do what I want to do and hopefully get away with it.
Right.
And for a long time, in the 80s, I remember the sociology of it was juvenile delinquency. It wasn't criminology writ large, but it's about the sociology of juvenile delinquency. And what they found was that the certainty of punishment was more effective than the severity of punishment. That if you knew, if I do it, I'm getting caught, I'm getting 6 months, or I'm getting parole, or I'm getting a fine, or I'm getting 400 hours of work, or whatever, that does much better than if we catch you, you're going to get 3 years, but there's a 60% chance you won't get caught. That the certainty of punishment was more effective than the severity of punishment. And that then allows, of course, for grace.
Yeah. We're missing grace. We're missing kindness, compassion, hope when people are being sentenced. But I think something that needs to be addressed as well in criminal justice reform is the for-profit prison system.
Oh my God, it's evil.
It's evil.
People make money, so they have no motivation for you to get out.
That's exactly it. And I think that's what we're seeing so much of today. I mean, people of lesser means, like you say, they don't have the hotshot attorneys. People of color, black, brown, they're being targeted, put in these for-profit prison systems with really not a lot of hope. So how does the Christian community come into play here and say, we need to take a long, hard look at how we can assist people getting their lives back in order, get them out of this system?
You've been a model prisoner for 18 months.
Yeah.
You're up for parole, and suddenly something goes bad. Suddenly you're provoked, and you're in a fight or whatever. And you don't get your parole. You got try again in 6 months. Did that really just happen, or was that manipulated? Because we got to guarantee. We got guaranteed, as long as you're in that bed, we can charge the government.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying it works that way.
No.
I would be surprised though if it has never happened.
Yeah.
Because that once you capitalize something, capital is what drives it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see in a couple of states right now, currently in the news, that states are not getting the funding that they thought they were going to get from this current administration to build certain facilities in certain areas. And so that's kind of one thing I'm kind of glad of. But also like this notion, justice must heal, that was part of the talking line there. Our justice system has taken a beating.
Yeah.
It has taken a beating over the last few years. And if the justice system is honored, justice is blind, it will prevail. But we got to have someone to hold it accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we need to turn some attention to, is getting people to be held accountable to the justice system as it is. Because without that, everything will fall.
Of course, you can have observers doing their job and just get shot in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what happened in Minneapolis. And it so happens, I'm told, that in Florida, the state charges you $50 per day to be there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had
So-
no
The
idea.
monies.
I had no idea.
So yeah, they're breaking even on your stay before they do their stuff to make money. So $50 a day.
Got work to do, folks.
Yeah.
I
Got a
remember-
lot of work to
I
do.
remember like, in the 80s in Arkansas, it was if it was a fine and you couldn't pay the fine, I think it was $25 a day. Like every $25 you owed, that was a day. Like if you couldn't pay it, you could pay it in time in jail. But you didn't have to pay for the jail. If you couldn't pay the fine, then you could pay it in jail, in the county jail. But you didn't go to the jail and then have to pay for the privilege. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we got work.
Really broken.
Florida's off the rails with a lot of things,
Yeah.
and recently passed some stuff that
We have to
is
work on.
that
Yeah.
is just absolutely fascist, and
Yeah.
will need to be worked out in court
Mm-hmm.
and midterms. And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together, and also remember that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.